Hello YouTube world, my name is Serenity and welcome to Staying Serene. Today I'm going to be sharing a Serene Saturday on influence versus impact. Now when you think about influence, the first thing you think about most likely will be a good and bad influence. Because influence is like the effect that you have on your friends and your family and the people that are in your life. And we sometimes forget that there's actually something greater than an influence, and that will be impact. And impact is a strong effect or impression on someone. So we're going to go into the differences between influence and impact. So number one, influence is temporary while impact is more long-lasting and enduring. Now, influence, when you have an influence, you have a sphere of influence, and these are all the people that are in your life that you influence. And these are your friends, your family, your acquaintances, classmates, colleagues, peers. But this sphere of influence is temporary because it can change, right? Your friends, they can change. Your friends can move away. You can get new friends. You might leave out old friends. And when they're taken out of your life, you no longer can influence them. And this is like the same in every area. When it comes to every environment that you're in, you have an influence in that environment. So for example, in high school, when you're in high school, you can influence all of your peers and all of your classmates. But this influence is temporary because when you graduate, you're not going to be able to influence them anymore because you'll be in a whole new environment. So when your environment changes, your sphere of influence change. So influence is a lot more temporary because it can change so much based on who you influence. While impact is actually a lot more permanent and long-lasting because when you impact someone, it doesn't matter where they are from, where they live, if you ever met them, because you can impact strangers, right? And that impact, it remains, right? You always have this impact when someone impacted you. For example, after Hurricane Dorian, we went to the United States to get some needed essentials that we didn't have because we lost them during Dorian, right? And this lady, she worked at Chick-fil-A. And she made an impact in our lives. And it was a small impact, but it was still an impact nevertheless. She didn't know us. She didn't know who we are. She didn't know us. She was a stranger to us. She just met us. And then she decided that she wanted to bless us, right? And so she told us to come back to Chick-fil-A the next day. And we did. And she gave us a little gift. And she gave us a little money. And it was very, very impactful how she was able to impact our lives, right? And so even now, it's been months since that. And even though I don't even remember her name, but I still remember what she's done. So she had an impact on our life in the way that she has blessed us. So as you can see, an impact, I'm sure I'm going to remember this for the rest of my life. So we have some small impacts. We might have larger impacts where someone would have encouraged you or changed your outlook on life or would have given you some type of inspiration that you use in your life. So that is the difference between influence and impact. Influence is more temporary, while impact is like a long-lasting impression that you have on someone. And this long-lasting impression, this impact can be small or big. That lady had a small impact on my life, but it's still an impact. And there's some people who may have a larger impact on my life in that they motivate me, inspire me, encourage me, and that they also encourage me to take a leap of faith and to do something amazing. So that's the first one. And number two, this one's a good one. Impact is not measured by earthly means. Okay, now what this means is influence is measured by earthly means. So you can measure someone's influence by how many, especially on Instagram and on these social media platforms, we have these people who have the title of influencer. And as an influencer, you can measure their influence by looking at their likes. You can look at their followers, and they usually have companies and businesses that are reaching out to them because they see the importance in their influence. And I'm sure we've all dealt with this where one of our favorite influencers has pushed a product or a business, and we supported this business because we trusted the influencer and how they influenced us to purchase a product or to support a business. So influence is usually measured by earthly means, but impact is not. Impact, you cannot measure impact, right? You may not actually even see impact, right? That lady that I spoke about earlier, she probably did not know how much she impacted us. Impact is such a personal and such a deep thing, when you're impacted by someone, they may not even know that you've impacted, that you've been impacted by them. They won't even know unless you tell them. But most likely they wouldn't even know that they've impacted you. And the thing is, the person that impacted you, they don't have to have a large influence. They may not have, popularity, fame, all these likes, but they still had an impact in your life. So if we look back at the last person that I said, the woman that we met at Chick-fil-A, she had an impact on our lives. And this impact, you cannot measure it by earthly means. We're not measuring it by how much money or anything. We're just measuring it by the fact that she decided to bless us and how that impacted us. This impact is so much more than just earth standards of, no, impact is such a deep thing, right? And especially if you are on YouTube or on any type of social media encouraging someone, you can have an impact. And your impact might just be one person, but that one person, you've impacted them and they won't forget you. They'll remember you. You may have encouraged them to do something that you wouldn't have done on your own. You might have just reminded them of how purposeful their life is and how God has a plan for them. I mean, impact is such a diverse but personal thing. So while an influence, it can be measured by earthly means, an impact, it just goes so much deeper, so much more personal than that. And number 3 is that an influence, that can die, but impact remains after death. So hypothetically speaking, right? If you're an influencer, well, hypothetically speaking, the influencers that we see, their influence can die. You could actually quickly lose your influence if like a bad rumor is spread about you, or if a bad rumor is spread about you or something is exposed, you can watch these influencers just lose their influence. They'll just lose all of their followers and all of their fans in just an instant. So their influence, it just dies just like that. It's such a temporary thing that it could just die so quickly. One comment or someone just exposes it and their whole influence just falls. But an impact, it outlives the person that started it. An impact, your impact is so great and so big that it can still happen after your death. Okay? And I know this might be hard to understand, like how can you still be impacting lives after you die? But think about it. There might be someone in your family or a friend who may have died, and that is so unfortunate. But the thing is, you still remember them, and they may still impact your life. Even after their death, you may be remembering them, holding on to things that they've taught you, how they've impacted your life. And even though they're not here right now, they're still impacting your life because you still are encouraged by their life story. You are still holding on to the lessons that they taught you. So it just proves that the impact can outlive their life. Another great example is Miles Monroe. The late Miles Monroe, he died about 2014, and he was a great speaker, a great pastor, a great leader, and a great author. And even though it's been years since he's died, he still is making an impact on people's lives. And because he's left a legacy that people can still go to and to learn from. We can still watch his sermons. We can still read his books. We can still be impacted by the things that he taught and by everything that he's done. So this just shows how an impact is just so much stronger than an influence. When an influence can die as a result of the person dying or as a result of some type of rumor or lie that has been spread, an impact is so much stronger that even after your death, you're still able to impact people. So this is not to say that you shouldn't have a good influence. I encourage you to influence everyone around you in the best way. But in the back of your mind, I want you to remember that you also want to leave an impact. And this might be small or big, but you want to leave an impact, an impression, something to be remembered by. And I encourage you to just leave an impact, to leave something strong, and to just try to make a good impact on someone's life. And you never know how you may impact someone. You may never know. It could be one word of encouragement and that person might be impacted. I really hope that you got something from this message. I hope that you are blessed watching this, and I hope that you're blessed watching this. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. And thank you so much for watching. Okay, bye.